For me, as I watched the film, a couple of things really struck me. The film gives a very credible presentation of the kind of situation that they lived in, the kinds of fears that control them, the anxieties they have, the inability to break out from the desire for revenge, and the fears of the spirit world. It really brings home for somebody from a Western background how real the spirit world is. We have a tendency to believe that it's nonsense, doesn't exist, it's in the mind only. One of the big differences between this film and, say, a standard documentary is an attempt to get inside the mind of an individual. It presents a seamier side of another culture. It doesn't attempt to romanticize it. And for an American audience, I believe that they may struggle with this because it doesn't show it in the Rousseauan, romanticized light that we often think of other cultures, particularly the Yanomamo.
Rahlal kutang nakat koy beni, utarhal kutang wal kuchitimin nakat behek. Laat na kanaw aru joget jtiabal akwela musik. Aksh kabwak le kamusik, uch kajar sinkin ditjakhel li kwang rikin.
Enten chukwa kawak tusak kachol.
Kanap, kanap, kamkren ahi punes. Kacik na oki punak tisilking.
A number of years ago, I was doing a life history of one of the men that I know very well. And he was recounting what had happened to him, his first 30 years of his life. He lived under the revenge vendetta. The next 30 years, he had lived under a Christian influence and had rejected the old ways. I went back to him the next day and I said, Giketa, why is it you no longer do such and such? And after several of those questions, he got very exasperated with me. He said, "You kuwuri," which is a very derogatory term. And it's the first time they ever called me kuwuri, which means you savage, you barbarian. He said, "You always want to know why it is we don't live like the ancestors." And all I got to say, you try it. The best answer I've ever heard. Then he asked, he said, "Do you try to live like your ancestors?" "Well, I have horses, but I don't want to have to live that way." And he said, "Do you think we're not human? Do we not have the right to decide what we want? You have the right to decide what we should have?" You can't answer that honestly and come away thinking they shouldn't change.